Oh, yeah. Roll Tide!
Right.
Roll Tide! Yeah.
You think
Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
You think they're going to do something this year?
Saban's gone, so I don't know. I got faith in Roll Tide Willie. He might be coach next year.
So Alabama held its second scrimmage of the fall season on Saturday, and apparently the D came to play. Scrimmages are always weird because when the offense does good, everyone is fired up about it, but that means the defense did bad, and then narratives about the unit start to form. So it is really hard to judge what the actual outcome was when players from the same team are facing each other, because the defense always has the advantage with them being around the same offensive scheme the whole offseason. But so far, it has really seemed like there's been times when the offense has made some nice plays, and the defense has also had some big time moments as well. Like I said, in the last scrimmage, it was the defense that got the best of things. The physicality of the defense was the real story. Kalen DeBoer said himself when the scrimmage was over that it was the most physical scrimmage since he's been at Bama. Not just more physical than any scrimmage in the fall, but more than any back in spring, when they scrimmaged 3 times, including one that was of course on TV, where guys were out there trying to show off. So it truly is notable when DeBoer specifically thinks the most recent scrimmage was the most physical of them all. I think the defense has a bit of an edge to prove themselves because they know DeBoer is an offensive guy, and when that unit is getting all the media attention, the star of the team is Jalen Milroe, so the D wanted to get some of their own as well. And in the recent scrimmage, that is exactly what they did, laying down numerous big hits. But the offense still did have some good plays. Rico Scott had multiple touchdowns on the day, Ryan Williams caught a big bomb type of play, Cole Adams had a good day receiving, and Justice Haynes had a really good day out of the backfield. Miller didn't play because he's a little bit banged up, but he's going to be fine for game 1, so no worries there. Jalen played pretty much solely with the starting unit, so the quarterback hierarchy pretty much remains what everyone would expect. So the offense did stand up, the pass protection was for the most part pretty good, there were a few sacks, but overall, I think the story was neither of the units overwhelmed each other. Both the offense and defense had some positives that we can take away. And then the physicality and intensity of course really picked up. We even saw the video, great pass from Jalen Milroe to Rico Scott in the end zone. He catches it and gets lit up. And as a matter of fact, flags were flying, but he managed to hold on to the ball. So maybe Rico is starting to make a move here as of late. And I just love the fact that he is getting an opportunity because it would be really easy for the coaching staff to just be like, we got our 5 guys, this is what we're going to roll with. One thing about Ryan Williams that's kind of funny is how small he is in person. Like, offensive linemen will just pick him up after touchdowns, but he's also basically just wrapping up his junior summer of high school, so he's gonna get bigger. But that was just something that stood out. I actually think that Ryan Williams is going to be one of the best players on the Alabama offense, if not the team as a whole. LT Overton also stood out again. He's a guy that is apparently going to be a disruptive force, and honestly, it's been a while since Bama has had a guy on the defensive line that is just a true disruptor. There were guys with good numbers that maybe didn't get enough credit, but I think Overton is just a guy that's on his own tier. With LT, I think some of it is just the position he plays, and we have to get used to this new scheme. Is he an outside edge guy, or is he a defensive lineman? Well, I think he is a little of both. I would argue that he is primarily a defensive lineman because his coach is Freddie Roach, who's a defensive line coach, but yeah, he's a little bit of both because he does line up opposite of the front 4 sometimes, but I think where LT is really standing out is that Alabama is playing him at a spot that he was born to play in. I think he's super comfortable in the scheme and his new role, and is set to have a season to remember. Moving on from that, let's talk about some other developments in the Alabama football program. The Tide special teams unit has been making waves in practice. Kicker Will Reichardt's departure left big shoes to fill, but it seems like the coaching staff has found a promising replacement in Graham Nicholson. He has been impressive with his accuracy and leg strength during practice sessions, reportedly nailing several 50-plus yard field goals with consistency. Moving on, the secondary has been a focal point of the team's preparations for the 2024 season, with significant developments in practice and scrimmages, despite initial concerns about the unit's potential weakness due to the departures of key players like Caleb Downs and Trey Amos. The secondary has emerged as a potential strength for the Tide. The secondary is expected to feature USC transfer Damani Jackson and Wake Forest transfer Deshaun Jones as probable starters at cornerback. Freshmen Zay Mincy, Jalen Mbakwe, and Xavier Brown, along with redshirt freshman Jaleel Hurley, are also in contention for starting roles. At safety, Malachi Moore is expected to lead, with Michigan transfer Keon Sabb and Penn State transfer King Mack competing for starting positions. On the offensive line, during a recent scrimmage, Jaden Roberts suffered a lower body injury. However, head coach Kalen DeBoer reassured that the injury is not serious and should not impact his status for the fall season. Additionally, center Parker Brailsford, a highly regarded transfer, has been absent from some practices due to non-football related issues, but he is expected to join the team soon and compete for the starting spot. The offensive line is reportedly coming together as well, with players starting to sync and understand their roles better. This development is crucial as the team works to minimize penalties and improve overall play during scrimmages. The line has shown progress in handling pressure from the defensive line, particularly during obvious passing downs. In terms of the receiving core, a veteran linebacker from Bama expressed high praise for a 5-star freshman wide receiver, describing him as elite. This indicates that the young talent is not only catching the attention of coaches, but also earning the respect from their teammates. Like I said earlier, in the scrimmages, Bama's wide receivers have been involved in creating explosive plays, which is a positive sign for the team's offensive capabilities. The coaching staff has been focusing on reducing penalties and improving the overall rhythm and tempo of the offense, which includes the wide receivers' contributions. And also, the running back room is looking deep this year, with Jalen Milroe expected to lead the charge. However, don't sleep on Williams and Justice Haynes, who both have been showcasing improved burst and vision in practice. The competition for carries is fierce and should only benefit the offense as a whole. On the recruiting front, Bama continues to make waves. The coaching staff recently secured a commitment from 5-star defensive end Yanze Pierre for the 2025 class, but Bama has been losing recruits too. It's going to be interesting a few years from now to see where this team really stands in the post-Nick Saban era. Moving on, the Crimson Tide's non-conference schedule is also generating buzz. The upcoming matchup against Georgia in Week 5 is already being touted as one of the must-watch games of the early season. Both teams are expected to be ranked in the top 5, and the outcome could have significant implications for the college football playoff race. But with the new format, it will be interesting to see how things go on that end. Lastly, let's touch on the impact of the new coaching staff. Defensive coordinator Kane Womack has been implementing some new wrinkles in the defense, emphasizing aggression and multiple fronts. Players have been raving about the energy he brings to practice and his ability to put them in positions to succeed. On the offensive side, coordinator Nick Sheridan and DeBoer have been working closely with the quarterbacks, focusing on quick decision making and exploiting mismatches in the passing game. These developments, combined with the talent on the roster and the program's winning culture, have Alabama fans both nervous and excited for the upcoming season. As always though, expectations are high in Tuscaloosa, but this team seems poised to meet them head on.